Hey guys, it's Greg Jones for Engine Builder. Today we're in Weatherford, Texas, just west of Dallas. We're going to be checking out Unrivaled Diesel Performance and talking with owner Chris Patterson. These guys do some awesome performance diesel work. So come on in, let's go check out the shop and talk to Chris. Come on. All right guys, so we're inside Unrivaled Diesel. I'm joined by owner Chris Patterson. Chris, thanks for having us in.
Absolutely, thanks for coming. We've been looking forward to it.
Yeah, and you know, we go a few years back, meeting up at the King of the Streets event in Ohio.
I think it was 19 you were up there?
That's what I thought.
There's a couple years.
19
we'll
or 20,
call it 19.
Yeah.
I had triples on it back then, and it was still white.
Yeah.
Now it's green, and it has compounds.
Yeah, it's definitely come a long way since.
Lots changed.
But again, good to see you. Great to see the shop in person, and that's what we want to show the folks here at home. Is, a little bit about what you guys do here.
Well, yeah, we're Dodge Diesel people. That's all we work on is Dodge Diesel, and really common railing up. I'm pretty particular about what I do, but we rebuild all of our own engines, our own transmissions, transfer cases, turbochargers. We do some chassis work. We do a lot of cool stuff.
Yeah.
But I have narrowed my focus onto the Dodge Diesel, and it's done very well for us.
Yeah.
We're incredibly busy, but I'm glad that y'all made time today to stop by, and we can show y'all some cool things.
Yeah. And Chris, how long have you been doing it? You know, how long have you guys had the shop here?
I've been here since about 20, 19 to 20. I've been turning wrenches professionally on Dodge Diesels since 2003, so I've definitely got a couple years, and I've been a mechanic my whole life, but I really was able to narrow my focus on to just the Cummins engine as opposed to doing like Duramax and Power Stroke and all that. I've tried some of that and I just didn't care for it. This is like a tractor motor, man. Air and fuel, and it's just straight, sweet. It's hard to beat.
Yeah, for sure.
Inline six, ready to tow, right?
For sure.
Like it's hard to beat that combination.
A lot of people want them, that's for sure.
And we're in the middle of Texas, and these trucks are everywhere. It's just crazy how many of them are out there.
Yeah.
So there's a really big customer base. Yeah. Ranchers, hot shot, oil, gas, mall crawlers, sled pullers, welders, hot rodders like ourselves. It's just saturated in Dodge Diesel.
Yeah.
So I was like, you know, I have no choice but to go for this.
Yeah.
I don't want to wind up getting older and missing my opportunity and looking back and wondering what would have happened if I would have taken a step. So what we have here is just one step. We got another shop going up down the street. Okay. It's not ready yet. So this is just a stepping stone, but let me walk you out and I'll show you some cool stuff.
Yeah, absolutely.
Obviously, there's tons of destruction everywhere.
Wow.
We have a sample of some of the features we've been in and a bunch of the cool photos from events. You're responsible for a lot of this as well. Yeah, how you feature us in the magazine and people see it and talk about it. And it transfers we got, you know, UCC trophies and whatnot. We got all sorts of transmission carnage of product development. You know, it's a small area, but we like to keep it jam-packed. Couple all-truck challenge King of the Street trophies.
Nice.
You know, everybody needs a TV every now and then, and a couple clipboards to try to keep track of the chaos.
Yeah.
Got a little parts room. It's not very big, but I can stock a few things, and I'm rapidly trying to grow this, but you know what? I don't go into debt, and I'm not borrowing money. Everything we're doing, we're just buying it and setting it up. So it's a hard way, but it's the right way.
Yeah, yeah, you don't get yourself in trouble like that.
Yeah. We got 3 bays. This is the main side of the service side.
Yeah, this is a good amount of space.
Yeah, it's not bad. We got a lift for doing cabs and stuff. You take a cab off a truck to change the motor out, whatever have you. We got a small lift, and then we got a good old Chinesium 15,000-pound lift for most of the big work. Really great big workbench. It's always hard. Workbenches are like lifeblood, so I got a big one.
Yeah.
It's a pain in the ass, but you know, it is what it is.
No, it is a good amount of
all
space.
The toolboxes and all the required equipment.
Yeah.
And of course, we're over here working on the green thing.
Yeah, there it is.
Doing the normal things to it. You know, we talked about the Blake Fitzgerald event and saw some things coming out of the hood stack that we didn't quite like, and then there was some oil out of the tailpipe. So we pulled the chargers off this morning. The VS Racing turbos look absolutely amazing. No complaints there. yank the head off to take a look at the pistons, and everything looks really good.
Nice.
So it's more of just preventative maintenance, but
yeah.
Oh man, look at that thing. There ain't much of billet on there. That thing looks like a boat anchor. So just a little different, you know. Who has time for spray
And how long
paint?
have you been running this engine now?
This engine has been in here since UCC last year, so this engine has about 10 months on it of what we do.
Yeah.
This motor went to All Truck Challenge 23, where we finished second. We lost a tranny in dirt drag, so that really hurt the points.
Yeah.
Turns out you got to service a 48 RE. You got to change the fluid and change the filter and adjust the band. Who would have known? It's weird.
Yeah.
And then we did 3,079 on the dyno with this motor. We've done multiple car cruises, a couple charity toy drives.
Yeah.
You know, the normal kind of hood rat activity at nighttime and those types of things.
Yeah.
So this has been a really good. We went sled pulling in this whole thing. We're gonna go ahead and pull it out. We're gonna take it apart, make sure it's all good.
Yep.
So that's kind of where this is at.
Very cool.
And then back here, I got another room.
Okay. So
This is
all your transmission stuff.
Yeah, this is more of our clean room. This is where we build our motors and our transmissions, and we build each and every one of them. I try to stock most of the parts, but a lot of this stuff is hard to get, so you kind of got to get it when you can find it.
Right.
It's a little tight, but I got 4 full-size benches with drains all the way around.
Yeah.
So I can probably have 6 or 8 transmissions taken apart at once in various stages, like this guy, all his stuff, and you can talk with him and order, back order, whatever, and then this is one we're getting ready to build, and some of them are already done.
And now, will you guys only work on a specific type of transmission?
Yes,
Okay.
we do 4748 RE, that's the 4-speed, I consider that one in the same transmission.
Yep.
And then we do 68 RFE, which is 2007 and a half and newer 6 speeds.
Okay.
All the way up to modern production for the 23-24.
Yeah.
I don't build the Eisen, that's a very specialized thing. I'd stay away from that, I'm not interested in that. I have an issue of we do so many things, our own engines, our own transmissions. My vision is spread very wide. So we try our best to specialize in the Dodge Diesel world and be the best we can in every segment while covering everything in-house.
Yeah.
When you have everything in-house, you have the best ability to control your quality. And I really like that. We don't tune in-house, so that's always a struggle, but that's a struggle for everybody right now.
Sure.
But the transmission game is quickly evolving. I hope one day to have more equipment like a valve body dyno or even a whole entire transmission dyno.
Yeah.
It's so simple. You could have a standalone 5.9 Cummins common rail with a controller, a tranny with like a plate, you could swivel it, and an electric or a hydraulic load brake, and you could just simulate. You could trick it into running down the road.
Mm-hmm.
Then you could quick learn the tranny, you could put it in a crate, ship it, have a line pressure gauge, have the documentation. You can even have a scanner that would quick learn in the tote. Ship it to a client in Ohio, Delaware, wherever. They put it in, they quick learn it, they write all the information down, they put the core in the package and send it back in the big crate.
Yeah.
That's the big goals.
Okay. Yeah.
But
nice.
right now, we're just trying to eat up as much of this work as we can.
Yeah. Very
So,
cool.
It's very small, but we try to be efficient and we try to keep things moving.
Yeah.
And then you can just see there's parts everywhere. Literally, this is a whole motor going together.
Yeah.
So we just sent the rods off to have the pin bushings resized, so that one's on pause. Got another guy here going together, waiting on pistons for it, and then literally just blocks in packages, cylinder heads in packages,
Yeah.
and then some shelving, and you just fill it up. There's probably 20 turbochargers down there.
Yeah.
It's insane, and bolts is always a thing. So we have the bolt bin, and we're trying to organize all the OEM bolts, factory bolts, aftermarket bolts, obviously the SAEs and the metrics. It's tough,
Yeah.
but we're a small crew and we do as much as we can.
Yeah. And Chris, how many guys do you have helping you out full time?
We have myself, my wife Kaylee runs the office. Then we have Jake Spooner, he's been with me the longest. Then we picked up Ty, and then we picked up Tony. And Tony is an interesting character.
Yeah.
You haven't met Tony yet, but Tony's kind of Cajun. No crossing the possum. He's kind of a wild card. But he's my transmission guy, and he's been working for Chrysler for almost 40 years as a transmission guy.
Nice.
So his knowledge is vast, and he's to the point, he's ready to teach people how to do this and have people follow in his footsteps, where he won't have to be a transmission builder or a diesel mechanic his whole life. And I have a very young crew. I have Tony, he's my older, he's my shop hand, like has the great experience. And then Ty and Jake are very young, but we have the ability to teach them how we want to do it, as compared to some of the people coming in the game that have bad habits or bad experiences or opinions and whatnot.
Sure.
So that's a blank slate that we have been working on for a long time. Jake's been with me for over 3 years. Ty's been with me about 1.5 years now.
Okay.
And they both have badass diesel pickups. Jake has a 92 12-valve compound turbo full manual valve body. It makes 800 or 900 horse.
Yeah.
And Ty has an '06 common rail that makes 1,000.
Wow.
So it's pretty radical.
Yeah.
We'll definitely go out there and see some trucks.
Yeah, that'd be great. Now, Chris, we're over here where you got a couple builds coming together. You know, what do you guys do when it comes to the machine work? Do you guys have a couple shops that help you out in that regard?
I got one really, really good machine shop. He's about 3 hours away.
Okay.
And it takes, 5 or 6 weeks to get things out. But he is a great guy. I've learned a lot. When I met him, I've learned a lot and continue to learn with him. And we have about 10 or 12 blocks over there and a bunch of heads. We're about to get one of the race heads back. I'm so excited. It's my own head. It's not any of the big guys in the game. So I'm curious to see the results we're going to find with that.
Nice.
But machine work is essential. The crosshatch, the roughness of the crosshatch, it all comes into play. How you break it in. The biggest difference is the component selection. There's a lot of opinions when it comes to injectors and turbos and pistons and whatnot.
Sure.
So we do a lot of cool things, and we have a different way of looking at things. You haven't seen anything around here that's billet.
Yeah.
Like this is kind of old school. Yeah. Cummins spent a whole lot of money designing this motor. It's a damn good motor. You just got to make it bigger and stronger.
Yeah.
And spray the crap out of it.
Yeah.
And that's what we do.
Yeah. Awesome.
That's the piston we run. That piston right there is made 3,400 horsepower.
Nice.
3 days after it did Race Week, Rocky Mountain Race Week 2.0.
That's right. That's right. You did that. Was that 2 years ago?
I don't even remember. It's been a little while.
You do a lot of events. How many events do you do in a given year?
Probably a dozen.
Yeah.
But they all overlap for me, and I talk to so many people, and I have so much going on, it gets lost in my brain. So normally my guys are standing right here beside me like, oh, hey, this was this, and this was that, and whatever. There's tons of footage out there.
Yeah.
But
that's cool.
Is that not crazy? Like, you can't even tell.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
That has 1,800 miles on the street. And I don't mean like we're driving down to Skinny's a mile down the street.
Right.
No, we drove that thing from the center of Texas to Oklahoma to all these other places. I don't remember all the tracks.
Yeah.
We did put in like 5 or 6 transmissions at the racetrack, but I learned my problem there and we fixed it.
Yeah.
It's just nuts that that thing is so salvageable.
So talking about the drag and drive stuff, obviously you did Race Week there. I don't know if you have your eyes on doing another one or doing a different one.
Oh, yeah.
Because I've always thought the diesel guys could really show up at events like that.
We really could.
Yeah. And I was just talking with Jeremy Wagler during PRI, and he's come out with a drag and drive Duramax setup.
Okay.
Because he's got the track and he's seen all these events kind of going gangbusters.
Yeah.
So I really think that could be something that diesel guys should pay more attention to.
I agree. The drag and drive, in my opinion, is the next big thing for the motorsports industry. And I don't mean just diesel, it's gas and diesel.
Yeah.
But to take a vehicle that you can build and drive it 1,500 miles track to track and run the balls off of it the same time every time.
Yeah.
Or not all out, but definitely not holding back. You have to pick a rate that you can sustain over 1,500 miles, 2,000 miles.
Yeah.
In the ideal world, you would show up to the track, you would convert your vehicle, and you would blast down the track one time. You have your time slip, and then you turn it in, and that's it. Going back round after round to try to get better time is really hard. You're wearing out your equipment.
Yeah.
So there's a strategy that comes into play. The first year I did it, I forget what year it was. It was that year with that 3,400 horse run.
Yeah.
But I took a sledgehammer. I took the green truck, and it was too much. It was just eating parts up like crazy. The second year I did it, we built that maroon truck, the '06 2500, and it was just 1,000 horse then. I had a small turbo, and I had some problems, but we built that truck in 6 days. Or no, 8 days.
Wow. Yeah.
Yeah, and then we turned around and drove it that far.
Yeah.
Drove it from Weatherford, Texas to Vandermeer.
Yeah.
No, there was another track. There was another track in Colorado. I forget the name of it right now.
Okay.
But a long ways.
Yeah.
And that truck ran like 705 at every event. and it was consistent and it did the job.
Yeah.
Well, we've revamped that truck a little bit then. We've added like 1,000 horsepower to it. So it's going to be a little bit different this year.
Yeah, that's awesome.
I'm going to make the green truck do it again, but I've had to kind of shift my focus a little bit because the green dually's not relatable to everybody, but a quad cab 2500 is, that makes normal power and is a little bit more calm and tame. Like no 4-link, no rack and pinion steering, stock suspension. Just take a good truck and put a big ass motor in it.
So Chris, I got to ask you, because you're probably one of the few guys that have done all these various events. You know, what's been more fun, and then what's been harder when you compare the drag and drive stuff to stuff like the UCC or King of the Street type events?
Drag and drive is by far the funnest. You're with 300 or 400 other vehicles for 5 days in a row.
Yeah.
That's the most welcoming, that's the most friendly, that's the biggest group of people with the common goal. UCC, All Truck Challenge, King of the Street, those are fun. They're 3 or 4 days of pushing it to the max at every event. Yeah. Not only are you drag racing, but you have to drag race, you have to dyno, and you have to sled pull, and have all the crap to do the whole thing.
Right.
You have to have a whole team that's on payroll that you change. Turbos, injectors, axles, rear end setups, tires and wheels, obviously.
Yeah.
A weight box. Like my weight box is over 2,000 pounds. Every time we move that, somebody gets hurt. And it's just a whole lot of work.
Yeah.
But if you drive to a racetrack and you pick it up and put radials on it, lower it back down, take the air filter off and go down the track, that's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
If it doesn't break. If it breaks, it's just a lot of work.
Right.
So there's a whole lot of fun in the drag and drive side. Plus it's more family oriented. They have the road week people that are basically following in vehicles, and they can go down the track. They can do things, but they're not really competing per se.
Right.
They're just there partaking.
Yeah.
Versus UCC now you have, which UCC is its own competition in its own, and then now ODSS is right there beside.
Yep.
So obviously there's priority back and forth there, and then all the other side shows of UCC. It's a whole lot for 3 days.
Yeah.
The first year we got ready, we got invited, and we had 90 days to get ready. I spent $100,000, and I didn't show up. I blew up 3 motors 5 days before we left for the event.
Wow.
So I just had to stay in Texas.
Yeah.
The second year is another 60 or 80 grand, and it was 100 last year. So it's just,
yeah, it's a lot of time and money.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
It's scary, especially for a small company trying to make it.
Yeah.
The drag and drive thing is cheap. I mean, yeah, tickets $400 or $500, and they're really hard to get in. They only release like 200 or 300 tickets, and it's like at 9 o'clock on a Saturday morning, and you got to hurry up and like type it in and get in.
You got 2 minutes.
Oh, you don't even have that long. You might have 20 seconds if you're lucky.
Wow.
And I'm not being sarcastic. I got in, Ty got in, but Jake did not get in. So I'm like, well, crap, half my guys are already in and one guy's out, and we're going to pull some strings and try to get in. We're on the waiting list. But it's a big, long list of people.
Yeah.
And I say, man, drag and drive is the next big thing.
Yeah.
So we got a couple trucks we're going to try to take.
Awesome. Awesome. Well, you've been teasing us about that marine truck a little bit. We can maybe pop outside and check that out.
Yeah, let's go. Let's go take a look at that thing. All right, so this is my 06 daily driver, 2500. We bought this truck for $5 grand on Facebook with a bent valve. And we stuck a great big huge motor and tranny in it, some sticks and some turbos. BD Diesel and I have developed this little project together to showcase some of the more like stock style stuff that you can just bolt right on. So you're not going to see a whole lot of custom fabrication like you do over there on the green thing. What? It's a 6.7 Cummins.
Nice.
Hamilton street block, full wet, so it has full coolant in it. And D&J X-beam billet rod, the cast Cummins piston, a stock cylinder head, a camshaft, flux diesel 250% street injectors, 2 12mm BD Diesel injection pumps, the BD Diesel competition side draft intake manifold setup, and a pair of good old VS Racing 106 and 80 mil, or no, this is a GT42, so this is a 76-89 ball bearing and a 106-112 ball bearing. And this thing, oh, it's a riot. It'll do a rolling burnout, I don't know how long. I can tell you that I can go the whole straightaway in front of the shop and still have to lift by the time we get up there.
Wow.
At least 1,000 feet, probably closer to 1,500 if you really wanted to.
Yeah.
Enough it'll scare you enough you got to get out of it. It just keeps going and going. It's crazy.
I bet.
This is the truck we took on the Rocky Mountain Race Week last year.
Okay.
We did it as a single turbo, single pump, no nitrous. And now we have 2 turbos, 2 pumps, same injector, same motor, 4 kits of nitrous, and we did 1,949 horse at the Fitzgerald event. And the torque was insane. I want to say, was it like 3,800 pound-feet or something? Do y'all remember? It was over 3,000 pounds of torque. It was insane. So, it's my daily driver.
Yeah.
Stock axles.
And this is like 1,900 horsepower?
Yeah, 1,949 is what we
Yeah.
made. One big hit.
Very cool.
It's rough. I call it a shit box because that's what it is. It's just a rough truck, but full factory suspension, factory steering.
Yeah.
Like anybody can build this in their driveway. This isn't anything custom and crazy.
Yeah.
Basically a catalog truck.
Yeah. Very cool. That's awesome. All right, guys. Well, that's been this tour of Unrivaled Diesel. Chris, really appreciate the time.
Thanks for coming down.
Yeah, pleasure to
Absolutely.
check it out in person.
Absolutely.
You know, I've always enjoyed watching you at these different events over the years, so
Thank you.
I look forward to seeing you at a few more this summer.
It's been an adventure. I'm sure I'll see you at UCC this year.
Yep,
I'm sure
yep.
you'll be up there.
I will be there.
We're coming up full force. We're swinging. We're going for blood.
Nice.
So I've stepped on myself a few times, and I'm ready to make it right. A lot of people have a lot of opinions, and I'm going to straighten some of them out.
Yeah, yeah. Well, and like, so last year was back to the one truck, and this year will be one truck again. And
Amen.
yeah, I think you definitely show up when it's the one truck deal. So.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll be there.
Yeah. Well, guys, again, appreciate you watching. If you do have any questions for Chris about the shop and what he's doing here at Unrivaled Diesel, make sure you leave that stuff down in the comments, and we'll pass that stuff on to him. But again, appreciate you watching, and make sure you're checking out enginebuildermag.com for more great engine content. We'll see you guys next time.
Thanks.